Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Happy Friday, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Freeman Mazda Honda. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! I love Fridays, man. I love Fridays. I see the bomb squads dropping the bombs in the building. Got the Mr. Perfect on today. Rest in peace. We are a mere 11 days away from training camp. Let me tell you how I'm getting prepared. My Ben DiNucci special came in today. You know, the Ben DiNucci special. You see that? There you go, right there. Pretty nice looking hat. I got the bucket. We in the bucket. I paid $200 for. No, I didn't pay $200 for this. They got the bucket hat, getting ready for training camp, man. Listen, bro, I'm ready. I'm roaring. I'm ready to go. I wish I could be out there day one, but I can't. But I'm still prepping. And not only am I prepping, physically to be out there in California, but I'm prepping here mentally and with this content and whatnot. And we pushed off yesterday's show to today because we had such an amazing kind of freestyle version of a show yesterday due to the Bomb Squad, of course.
Bomb Squad!
Appreciate y'all. So, unfortunately, Swain, we can't roll out the TV today, man. Maybe in the back half. We can freestyle it in the back half. I do want to get to this offensive line camp battle. I promise y'all I do that. I promise y'all we go through it, we smooth through it, and we can freestyle it at the end here, man. I ain't on no time limit today, so we can go as long as you guys want to go. Working on that, Toxic. I should know something soon. But yeah, man. Got the fitted. I don't want to call it a fitted, but I got the DiNucci special, and I got the bucket hat ready to go for camp, man. I probably have a couple more hats I take down there. I like to wear hats when I'm out and about. I do. Shout out to you guys, though. Ron from the 516, Lemitra, Stephen White, Professor Rowe in the building, Jason Renfro dropping all the bombs.
Bomb Squad!
Sam said he got a new haircut. All right, I see. Cedric Betts, Brandon over on Facebook, C. Burleson, Connor Collins, Toxic Tom, Downey, Burner account, Alpha Mason, Oscar Sullivan. He says BAD, Benjamin Anthony DiNucci. What's good, Peasy? James Rogley, what it do? Oh, yeah, so you like that picture I posted? Maybe I'll bring it up on here, but the other day, me and my kids were wrestling. I had the little wrestling belt. Not this one. I have another belt. And you got to see the video on Twitter, James. I tried to stunner Mozart. He's doing fine, by the way, before y'all be like, what are you doing? He's doing fine. Actually, he goes for a checkup to make sure that all the heartworms are gone. Probably going to take him about 2 weeks. But I tried to stunner him, and I missed it. And it was like a botched stunner like Stone Cold did to Vince McMahon a couple months ago. Pretty bad. CJ Richards, what's goody? Sky, where you get that Black Dallas hat at? I got it off of their website. True, I think it's True. I get it right. True BRVND, because it's not True Brand in the original sense of the word brand. TrueBRVND.com, I believe. They got all types. They were sold out of so many, but I love black hats, so I got the black on black right there. Antoine Swain was good. Chris, Jason, Paul, I got you. Aaron, Joey, you're not that guy, pal. He says happy Friday. I have to say it like that. I just assume you're related to Danny Macho Man, Randy Savage. Charlie, Tony Simmons, Paul. What's good, Paul? And I think I got everybody, man. I got everybody that came through at the top here. Yeah. Uncut Coke, I think, is in the building. Listen, I always like to shout y'all out in the beginning because it really means something when you hear this early to me. So I appreciate that, man. I see you, Chris. If I missed you, my apologies. TC915JA. Y'all here, we here. We gonna kick it. We gonna have a good time on this. It's still Feel Good Friday, but it ain't quite Roll the TV out. Y'all want to call in? You can. 351-999.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
87, as she's telling you guys that all participants are muted. So, yeah, come on through. We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, man. Today, though, on the roundup, which we'll get to in a second, we got that signing we got to talk about, which, if y'all remember a couple days ago, shout out to Scruggs. He hit me up a couple days ago and said, hey, man, this is about to happen. So I kind of half-heartedly reported it here because I didn't want to do that without multiple sources. But I trusted Scruggs because his trainer is the one that told him. But we came on here and said, hey, don't be surprised if this goes down the next day. And the next day it went down. So salute to him for that. That's why I love y'all, because y'all are always, I get people on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, hitting me up like, hey, Facebook, dropping nuggets and things like that. That helps out with the show and just kind of just knowing what's going on that I can't see everything. So appreciate you. We'll also talk about who they cut. And we got another update on y'all mans. Dalton Schultz, bro. Another update. Craig, look, Craig, we going to talk about it. Save it. Save it, Craig. Here we go.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Ole do it. Hey. Yeah, let's talk about this, man. Malik Jefferson has officially been signed. And I don't want to be this guy. But Joe Rod dropped a meme on Twitter that just had me crying. It was the Sixth Sense meme where he says, I see dead people, but he said, I see camp bodies. That's not cool, man. These people are trying to make a living, so I'm not laughing at them, but that was a funny meme. I see camp bodies. I tend to agree. I understand we're in that part of the season where we, any signing, any down roster guy, we're dissecting, like we're tearing them apart and figuring out what they're good at and not good at. But I truly believe this is a, I don't want to use the term camp body, but damn near that. And here's why I don't go full blown camp body, is because the position is razor thin. So, Malik may very well play his way on this team, but let's just be careful if overhyping him, if anybody is doing that, okay? He was a third-round pick in 2018. This will be his sixth team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams in 5 seasons. All right? And I think, he's got less than like 30 snaps or something like that on defense. I think he's played some special teams, whatnot. But, I got to wait to see how he plays at camp to go anywhere beyond. Right now, he's just in that cluster of undrafted free agent linebackers and late round picks trying to fight and scrap and claw their way onto this roster. All right, that's Boss did a video on it. I wonder, I'm going to check that out. Appreciate you. I just talked to Boss, man. We had a very good conversation last week, man. So, yeah, I don't want to go as far as camp body because this position, a camp body, could make the team. All right? So, we'll see what's up with Malik. But right now, it is what it is. This is a 6th team in the NFL in 5 seasons.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But in order to make room for Malik Jefferson, they cut another quote-unquote camp body, right? Jaquan Hardy, who, if we remember when we did the running back breakdown, I was like, hey, this could be a dark horse, man, for running back 3, because that was not locked down. Well, he's gone for right now. There's a possibility he can come back later. They cut some other players. Some players get hurt. We'll see what happens. But he was a fan favorite on the Hard Knocks episodes last year. Specs, You know, he was funny. I like this running style, not going to lie to you. He scored a touchdown against the Eagles in the season finale scrimmage that gave the Cowboys the record of most touchdowns scored, if I'm not mistaken, by individuals in one season of 22. 22 different Cowboys scored a touchdown last year, and he was one of them. So he's off the team for now. We'll see what happens with Specs, a.k.a. Goggles. But I did like him too, Swain. But they like Malik Davis. So of those down roster, of that room, right, that running back room, they seem to like Malik Davis. And we'll see where he fits in with the Malik Davises, the other cat from Harvard. I want to say there's another one I'm missing. Rico, I kind of have Rico above those two dudes, to be honest with you. And then Ryan Nall. So that down roster battle is going to be interesting to watch. You got different guys. A Scatback Cat from Harvard is different than a Malik Davis, who's different from a Rico Dowdle, who's different from a Ryan Nall. It's going to be very interesting. And then one of the guys we haven't talked about all offseason because they may not even view him as anything is Ralston. You know, they've kept him around, which in a way doesn't shock me because historically speaking, Mike McCarthy likes that kind of hard-nosed throwback fullback. And then you look at Kellen Moore, he doesn't really. Dallas signed, was it Owale? They signed Owale to a 3-year deal, and I thought Kellen was about to go off with him because he was very versatile. My man had 3 receptions his entire career in Dallas. So I don't think Moore really cares for the fullback at all. I don't. And then maybe the biggest news to come out of the end of this week is Dalton Schultz. I should have put likely to play on the tag, but we're here. The deadline's today. We don't expect it to happen, so I just put he's going to play on the tag. From all indications, everywhere in Dallas, he will not be getting a long-term extension. He'll be playing on the $11 million tag. Olawale, thank you, Owale. So question. With Dalton Schultz not getting a long-term deal today and playing on the franchise tag, is this a good thing, a bad thing, or no thing at all, Cowboys Nation? Good thing, bad thing, or no thing at all? Y'all let me know. I'm a sift through these comments from the roundup. I just want to see what y'all had to say a little bit here about the linebacker, about Hardy and all that stuff before we get going. Yeah, I think the running back room is if I'm making a cut to bring on somebody, I would have done it from the running back room. I don't think you're really losing any sleep cutting a Malik Davis, a Jaquan Hardy. I'm sorry about the kid from Harvard. His name slips my mind. Him, any of these Ryan, any of these dudes, you're not losing sleep. Craig, isn't the kid from the USFL working out for us? So those workouts that we've been talking about over the last couple of days, Malik Jefferson so far is the only one to have been signed. They worked out a few linebackers. I doubt they'll sign another one. Maybe they will. Who knows? But I feel like they already signed Sam. They signed Malik Jefferson. I feel like they're done from that group. But they could sign a receiver. You know, that could be a possibility, but they'll have to make another cut. Let's see here. Big deal, no deal. Well, I should have said big deal, but bad thing, good thing, no thing at all. Good. A lot of goods. No thing, says Mark. It's a thing, says Swain. Stevens is good. Scotty Laxton expected, no thing at all. I think that's the fair assessment, right? This was expected, so it's really not a thing to me. But here's why I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to say it's a good thing. This isn't because I'm saying, hey, you know, tight end sucks. No. I think Schultz is a fine tight end. No doubt about it. I think he's a fine tight end. The reason why I think it's a good thing is Now let's see something real quick. Dalton Schultz is going to have to be more of a feature of this, in my opinion, man. Like, you can't pay a tight end $11 million, when you could have paid a Bobby Wagner or so-and-so and so-and-so and be like, hey, man, you're just going to be a product of your environment, right? Like, you're just going to be the recipient of double teams and, this ain't open, we're going to dump it off. Nah. You need to be a feature of this offense. So I want to see how he responds to that. Now, this is just me guessing, right? I don't know if they're really going to use him in a featured role. Are they going to use him like Darren Waller? Are they going to use him like Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle, right? Are they going to use him like those dudes? I would, because I want to see something. You know how they do on, all the kids nowadays. They'll ask a question, but I'm just trying to see something real quick. I'm just trying to see something. If you can step up to that plate, right? I don't know that physically you're going to be able to do anything differently. I think he is what he is from a physical standpoint, but hey, maybe trimmed up, maybe bulked up, and that helps him physically. But if he's able to get even better, right? And he does things that, in my opinion, are then deemed worthy of a featured tight end. I hate to use the term elite because there's only maybe 3 of those, but top 3-ish tight end stuff. Then sure, absolutely. You don't even think twice about it. You pay him. You pay him the market value. But if he doesn't, now okay, he's not a guy we can lean on. I don't think you were leaning on Dalton Schultz last year, right? You weren't leaning on him. So I feel like if you can lean on Dalton Schultz this year and he shows that, great. Give him the contract. It won't be a crazy cap hit the first year or two anyway. And the reason why I think it's also not a bad thing either is because he's still going to play, right? And if you want to keep him around next year again, just to be not service, but I don't want to be disrespectful, just to be another fine tight end, not anybody that you're going to game plan against and lean into, and you don't trust the tight end draft class, you don't like the tight end free agency, but you don't want to sign him to a long-term deal, you can franchise tag him again for less than market value. Probably not great business. He's going to be pissed, but he's going to play. So I kind of look at it as a good thing. That's all. He won't. Clearly, he wants his money. But it may not be fair. I may be putting a little bit too much pressure on Schultz. I think he has proven over the last 2 years that he is worthy of getting a contract, right? He has played well. I'm not doing that to him. And I'm probably like, damn, this ain't right to ask for a third year in a row of him improving. But that's where I'm at with it. Aaron says, y'all remember the Schultz 4 fumble, the fumble game, the fumble in the Panthers game. Yeah, I remember that. Craig says, it shows if your play gets better every year, the Cowboys don't pay you. I mean, we got a lot of high price players on this team. You know what it shows, Craig? It shows that the Cowboys are going to play hardball with everybody. Like, there's no discrimination on that, right? It doesn't matter if you're the tight end. It don't matter if you're the defensive lineman. It don't matter if you're offensive lineman. It don't matter if you're quarterback, running back. They're going to play hardball with you. There is never an easy negotiation unless you get down there and you take their team-friendly offer. Jalen Smith. So Reggie says, don't the tag go up each year? It does. Next year, the tag, if I'm not mistaken, I think we talked about this the other day, is roughly $13 million, which is still below the market value for the highest paid tight ends in the league. They're getting $14.5 million plus, right? So if you can get him under the market value, that's technically looked at financially as a positive. So the tag will go up, but because this isn't the quarterback position where the top 10% is getting unruly amount of money, it's still coming below the market value. I did not explain that greatly, but we can get one of these math wizards, Professor O, can break it down for you, way better than I can. But that's why, Reggie, that you can still get him under that, because the tight ends, they're not getting paid $20 million a year, right? Like the top 3, 4, 5 tight ends aren't getting that. They're getting about $14.5 million. So it's going to come in under. I'm with you, TC. Professor O said Schultz had 0 fumbles last year. He did, but he fumbled in that Panther game. We got lucky. But it is what it is. You know, he cleaned up his fumble issue and his drop issue that he had early in 2020. I say early because he started clicking, you know, but early, those first 2 games that he filled in for Jarwin, I'm like, oh, cut this man type of thing. But no, he proved himself to me. He proved himself to me. All right, man. Good talk here from the roundup. I knew the Schultz thing. That's a very interesting topic that gets the Cowboys fans kind of. I feel like there's good points on both sides. So I wanted to bring that back up one more time because after today, it don't matter what happens now. It's final. He's here. I'll see him at camp. He might block me, but it's all good. You know what I mean? Well, Reggie, if you don't want to give him a 10.9, then you would have had to extend him. That would have went down. Let's talk about the real blockers on this team, though. The offensive line. And yeah, we may eventually talk about the totality of the room, but we're going to talk about down roster dudes, and that's what makes y'all diehards. That's what makes y'all amazing. Y'all here, and we about to talk about the second and third string centers, and y'all still in here. Lamar, I got shanked with a butter knife.
Super chat.
Appreciate you for the super chat. He says that's 11 mil plus 23 mil. Maybe Catboy makes better negotiations. Bad deal. I don't think I quite follow, but sure, yeah, maybe he makes better negotiations. He's not a great negotiator in my opinion. Quick update on the O's interview. We never got a chance to reconnect, Jacob. What I might try to do, we're still gonna be talking to try to get this done, but I might try to take any good part I got out of that interview and maybe show y'all a little something of what he said because I was enjoying it, but neither here nor there. Let's get into this offensive line talk. Lemitra says, Sky, did you like the O-line? Yeah. Sure. Healthy. I like the offensive line in the sense of Tyron Smith healthy. Tyler Smith, young. He's getting better. I like him working with Duke. No one's talking about this, but Tyler Biadasz is also working with Duke. I'm saying. Zach is Zach. I am big on Terrence Steele. Y'all know me. I was trying to give him, that early extension back in March. I was trying to get Terrence Steele that hey man, hey big fella, let me get you on this 3-year cheap deal right quick. So yeah, I like the starters. I think this is an offensive line starting unit that you can win with. You don't need to have the Great Wall. It's behind them where I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit nervous because we know on that left side something may happen. But the first battle that I want to talk about is actually at center. And it's between Alec Lindstrom and Matt Farniok. I can't seem to ever get that name right. And let me just say this about this matchup. I use it in quotations. I don't even know that I'd have paid much attention to the backup center spot if Stephen Jones hadn't brought up Farniok. I don't know if I would have paid much attention to it if Joe Philbin hadn't brought up Farniok. Somebody please put the right pronunciation in there. I feel like I'm butchering his name. But because they brought him up, and at that time, there was a little bit more skepticism of Tyler Biadasz. I said, okay, this might be a real competition for this starting position. But as time went on, I'm like, I don't think it's necessarily for the starters anymore. I don't think it's for that. I think it's really for the backup position. I think it's to put heat on Tyler, but I don't think it's like, hey, man, Lindstrom, Fournette, they're going to take his spot. If Tyler has that third year type of jump, right? He's working with Big Duke. He's going to those camps. I don't see why Tyler can't at least improve. We're talking about Terrence doing it. We're talking about Tyler Smith doing it. Why not Tyler Biotis? He's not an incompetent center, right? So I think Tyler can do enough to keep his spot. I don't think the Cowboys have done enough to threaten his spot. So I think we're talking about a backup situation. And when you look at Alec Lindstrom, here is the interesting thing about Alec Lindstrom. Will McClay came out and they asked him about, well, why didn't you guys take Linderbaum? And he said, Linderbaum's a really good player. I don't want to discount his ability for anything. But when you look at what you're trying to build, certain players fit into certain schemes better. That's why people's draft boards look different. And then you go down a little bit here. He talks about, you look at the size, speed, and athleticism of the defensive linemen that are coming into the league now. The Eagles just drafted a giant that runs a faster 10 than some receivers. You look at the physical measurements and those things and kind of devise your plan based on that and how you want to play. Well, Will, why did you sign Tyler Lindstrom? I mean, if that's the case, you got a 6'3", sub 300-pound, cerebral technician of a center, right? Why sign him? Well, here's what Dane Brugler had to say about Alec Lindstrom. Quote, Lindstrom is most comfortable in pass protection where he can use his balance movements and reset to shield the pocket. In the run game, he does a nice job on the move to reach scoop defenders and strain through contact. But he doesn't have the play strength to create vertical displacement. Overall, Lindstrom is an average athlete and lacks ideal power or leg drive, but is a cerebral blocker with the pedigree and processing skills to execute his assignments. He projects as a potential NFL backup. And then when you look at Farniok, he's listed on the Cowboys website as 6'5", 311 pounds. If you go to like Wikipedia or other websites, he's like 6'6", 330. Regardless, he's bigger. You can see the mass in him. He's bigger. I meant to actually cut up that Eagles film. I didn't do it. My bad, y'all. I had to run my kids to camp, but I totally forgot. And you can see there's more power with him, but you could also see last year he had that kind of that baby strength in the sense of he's young, but he got an off season. Maybe he'll get some of that off season peanut butter. If I'm not mistaken, he might have been down there. He might have even been at that camp, So he's bigger, he's stronger. If I had to give a favorite between the two, I would give it to Farniok. Not only because the staff is talking about him, but I think he fits more with what Will McClay is looking for with these offensive linemen. Maybe this is an experiment with Alec Lindstrom. Maybe they want to see, all right, we didn't go get Linderbaum, but what if we get a Linderbaum light and see how this works out? My only issue with that is it doesn't seem like this team is looking to go to gear towards a sideline to sideline type of stretch play type of zone blocking scheme. If so, Tyler's perfect for it. It seems like they want more power, hence Tyler Smith, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know that we'll see Alec Lindstrom be the guy as a backup. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, right now, Connor McGovern's still taking some backup center reps. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm all good with utility lineman, but I want him to more so be the utility guard, right? Left guard, right guard. Get a true backup center. If they wanted to move him to center, then just move him, right? Like, just let him be center. We were playing around with this last year. Hey, Connor Williams, you play some center? It's July 28th, but can you play some center a little bit? What are you doing? You know what I mean? So if you're going to bring in a Lindstrom, if you're going to bring in a BYU kid, if you're going to have Farniok be a center, let those dudes compete for the backup center and may the best man win. Farniok. See the okay, the okay doesn't do it for me. Give me the last part, Professor O, in a pronunciation version, because that looks like Farniok. It's like A-H-K. That'd be Farniok. Or Farniok would be like Y-A-K. Is it Ak? Butchering this man's name. All right, man. Let me get back into here. Tony, they don't want battles against their favorite players. It seems like nothing that will threaten his job. Are you assuming that Tyler Biadasz is one of their favorite players? What you saying? So okay, Farniok. All right, it's better. If Tyler Smith helps him more than Connor did, and he still can't take a leap, then it's time for him to go, says B47. Well, here's my thing with that. As much as we like Tyler Smith, he's a rookie. It should be the other way around, right? Like, Tyler Biadasz should be helping Tyler Smith. Because what's going to help Tyler Biadasz, more so in my opinion, would be Zach Martin. It's a mental aspect of the game more than the physical aspect. Tyler Smith can be as physical as he wants to be, but if he doesn't know the assignment, he doesn't know who's coming on the blitz, he hasn't seen this formation yet, I'm relying on Biadasz to say, or Tyron Smith to say, hey, here comes the Mike linebacker. They're going to do a stunt, yada, yada, yada. No matter how strong he is, if he's 1 second late or half a second late, he gave that pressure up or that sack, et cetera, et cetera. So I actually have it flipped. I need Biadasz to help him out in regards to whoever helps who. Mel said, most important thing this offseason will be who replaces Tyron when he goes out. Well, put a pin in that, man. Hold that right there. Hold that right there. What's good, Jay? What's good, Danny? Both those Clemson defensive tackles in those videos going first round in the draft. Oh, the guru's on his draft stuff next year. Should we go after those DT? Oh, you're talking to, yeah, y'all talking 2023 draft. All right, before we having a conversation. I feel that Sky, I'm just saying that because he's had Zach Martin on the right most of the time and people doubt him. Here's what Vach, if you listening, bro. I don't know if I can't remember if you actually did a Tyler Biadasz breakdown. I think you should, though. If you didn't, you probably did. But I would love to see a kind of 4 or 5 games of Biadasz towards the end of that season and see where his improvements were. I just don't, I don't think he was the liability on the line. From a penalty standpoint, sure. I looked at Connor. Connor and Tyler were your weak links. But if you look around the league, Tyler Biadasz kind of is just another center. I don't think he was like just a bad center. I think he has tools and traits to be better. If we don't see that in camp, if we don't see that in the preseason, we don't see that early on, then cool, yeah, that experiment's over. But I think there's something there for Tyler, and that could just be me being more optimistic than not. But I do think there's something there, and this is the year to show it. Let's take that pin off the wall real quick from Mel. The most important thing this year will be who will replace Tyron Smith. And if you look in the title, wherever it's at, I have Matt Waletzko versus Josh Ball. Well, player, I'm going to put on my Teddy Long hat here. We're going to throw in another player. We're going to turn this thing into a triple threat match. We're going to throw in a name that, why the hell, if you're just looking at it, you're like, why is he even in competition with these dudes? But this is why. Matt Waletzko, Josh Ball versus Tyler Smith. What the hell you mean? Well, what are you talking about? Man, Tyler Smith ain't in competition with these dudes. Oh, on the contrary. I'm not talking about for guard. I'm talking about for what Mel said. Who's going to be the swing tackle? Who's not even swing? We ain't even really talking swing. Tyler ain't swinging to the right. Tyler's staying on the left side. And right now they're playing with that. And yes, you're not mistaken here. Tyler Smith listed 6'6", 332. I ain't make that up. I got these numbers from the Cowboys website. I was shocked too. I guess he grew an inch or something. I don't know, whatever. But I thought he was 6'5", 325. They have him listed at 6'6", 332. Let me just tell you something, man. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. And when Micah Parsons is talking about how, man, when he get his hands on you, you ain't going nowhere. For a rookie. I know. So I got Matt Waletzko versus Josh Ball versus Tyler Smith, and this is for the backup left tackle. This is going to be the most important offensive line battle per se to watch early in camp. I don't think they can wait. I don't think they can be like, all right, it's August 28th, August 29th, September 1st. We don't feel good about the backup tackle spot. Let's go sign a guy. Unless it's somebody like who's been here. Tyden Secchi, because he's been here. Because I want a guy that's going to come in here and have a few weeks under his belt to understand the offense, because it's very possible he could get thrown in fire. And as much as I love Matt Waletzko's future to be the future, I'm just not ready, y'all. I'm not ready to be like, yeah, well, let's go with Matt Waletzko. Not just quite yet, man. But here's what Dane Brugler had to say about old Wally. That's what I've been calling him. Waletzko moves at the snap and in space with physical, quick to counter hands. However, he finds himself overextended too often. There is a massive gap between the power and skill rushers he faced in the Missouri Valley Conference and what he will see in the NFL. Overall, Waletzko has length that cannot be coached, along with functional foot and body quickness. But he must continue developing his strength and stature before he is ready for live NFL reps. He has legitimate NFL upside, but will require patience. And that is the one at the bottom there for me. I am 100% willing to be patient with him because he has some physical tools. I love the length, quick feet. He's athletic. I like him for the future. Do I want to throw this wiry freshman in against these grown men trying to feed their families, trying to make a buck for their families, for their kids, for their wives, for their side, for, you know what I mean? Day one, day 6, whatever the game is. I ain't ready for that one just yet, y'all. Not ready for it yet. So I would love for him to kind of get a year under his belt, get some strength, and then let's see what happens from there. So then that takes us to Josh Ball. I'm going to just be honest with you. I got to see it. What do you want me to go off of besides his Marshall tape? Got to see it. He came in lacking the strength, right? Didn't hear much about him in OTAs, minicamp, whatever you want to call it, about that improving immensely. Mostly negative things came out of it, but not everybody's just focused on Ball the whole time, but whatever. So I don't have the utmost trust and confidence right now, July 15th, in a Josh Ball. So no, I got to see it from him too. And that then leads me to Tyler Smith. If you're relying on your starting left guard, your future left guard, your future left tackle at some point to be your swing left tackle day one, to me, that shows a lack of depth at the position. That shows a lack of depth at the position. And from what I'm hearing about his hands, he's smart. Tyler Smith I'm talking about here. Him going with Duke. I am more inclined. I would not fake the funk. When he first was drafted, I'm like, hey, man, I want to kind of keep him at guard for a bit, man, for at least a couple years. But I'm gaining a little bit more confidence that, okay, maybe next year he could slide out there if Tyron Smith, goes down. But I don't think I want to see him out there right now. And that could be dead wrong. Maybe Tyler Smith can go out there and he's just a beast at left tackle and you just keep him at left tackle. But his left tackle tape, his tackle tape in general, we'll bring it up here. Even his highlights show those deficiencies that we want to see him work on. That's the hands. But from a nasty standpoint, from a physical standpoint, from a strong standpoint, dude's got it in spades. That's why I love the move inside to guard, because those things the weaknesses or the flaws can be mitigated early on. these things aren't going to just change overnight, right? Like, it's going to take some time for him to get the muscle memory down pat, on a consistent basis at the tackle spot. So can the Cowboys afford 3-4 games of that? Maybe. We'll see what happens in the season. We'll see where the Cowboys are at. But I hate having all these maybes, and I hate having to rely on hope. We hope no one is sitting in our seats when we get to the concert. We hope we don't have to go get security. I don't want to live on that hope creed. Right? We wish. That's the creed I want. We wish it would. So I'm still in it right now in July. I want to go get a veteran swing tackle. And there's some good names out there. And didn't let the veteran swing tackle battle out with these Bucks and made the best man win. I'd feel better. Trying to prepare for the retirement of Tyron Smith, had to do it with Eric Williams. Do it now. Hit or miss with these guys, says Tony Simmons. I think we're finally seeing the Cowboys admit to, okay, we have to have a plan for Tyron. And it's Tyler. Whether we like it or not, if you're a guy who wants to keep Tyler Smith at guard, it is clear as day they're preparing Tyler Smith to take over left tackle duties. Hope is not a strategy, ask Modius. Clarence, I think you're right, man. Clarence says Tyler Smith will be the starting left guard and backup left tackle. I think you're right. Don't know how good I feel about it. Think about this. I'm going to ask a question and it'll lead into it. Where does Connor McGovern best play at on this offensive line? Where does Connor McGovern best play at on this offensive line? Where does Connor McGovern play best at on this offensive line, Cowboys Nation? Come on with it. AOC says Cowboys will draft a guard next year. Alpha said, "Come on, man, be more optimistic." I love the starts. Right guard, thank you. Right guard, all right. So Tyron Smith goes down. Tyler Smith slides out to left tackle, rookie, who's still developing, trying to be, a left tackle. Connor McGovern plays left guard where he's not best at. Your left side becomes extremely compromised. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm attacking the hell out that left side. And if Tyler Biotis doesn't take the next step, you've got 3 dudes on that side that is now compromised. That's not to say Tyler Smith sucks. It's just that he's young. You got blitzes, you got stunts, you got things he hadn't seen yet, and he doesn't have a veteran there to help him out. So you see how the trickle-down effect to losing Tyron Smith and sliding Tyler Smith out there can really hurt your line from the entirety of your line? This is why I want a veteran swing tackle that's been around. That if Tyron Smith goes down, a Riley Reed and Eric Fisher, hey, you see that mic creeping up right here? Watch out for this cornerback coming here. They're about to run this DEDT stunt. You know what I'm saying? Tyler can't do that for Connor. So, Alpha, I am optimistic about the starters. I think it is fair, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's fair to be skeptical about the depth until we have more data or data, however you decide to say it. I think it's fair. Let's get our guy, Coach Marv, in the building, man. I was looking for you last week after the Tristan Hill show. I went and looked, bro. I did. I went and looked. I was like, I hope Coach come back so we can talk about it, man.
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man? You doing good, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Well,
It's Friday. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yesterday we had a problem with the phones, but we back live. What's up, Coach?
Yeah, man. Hey, we got to get more data. You're right. But you know something, man? Who in the NFL with the lack of depth of good offensive linemen can take a couple of hits on the offensive line and still say they're not worried? Every team, if they lose some starters or a couple of starters, are going to have some type
100%.
of apprehension. Maybe not too much, but they're going to have some apprehension.
Sure, definitely. If you use the term you said some starters. Like not many teams are prepared to lose multiple starters. But the problem in Dallas is if you lose one, that one being Tyron, the domino effect could be greater than maybe other teams.
Well, yeah, and that's the truth. But that's why I called, because I was just thinking about something, Scott. I know y'all have had discussion, but I'm just trying to drop some positivity to the Cowboys team. And I'm just wondering, I was thinking about something, and it made me so excited that when I was in the barbershop, I said a statement to the fellas, and they were like, man, you got to be crazy. And then I went over what I was saying to them. I told them, and you're going to say I'm crazy, Scott, that the Cowboys defense that we had last year probably goes down in the history of me knowing football and seeing football is one of the greatest defenses that I have ever seen in professional football. Hold up. And I'm going to tell you why. Scott. And let me give you, just be patient with me. Let me tell you why. First of all, this defense started the year as a 31st ranked defense. 2, they started the year with probably almost a brand new coaching staff on the defense with a coordinator. Then we had key people that we was pretending or was saying that was going to be key for just some type of resurgence. And Randy Gregory missed 5 games. DeMarcus Lawrence missed 10 games. Even Tristan Hill missed 8 games. We brought a linebacker in, Brian Cox, said, well, maybe he could be able to help us. He played 6 games and missed the rest of the season. We brought Brent Irvin in, thought he was going to help us in D-line. He played 3 games, gone for the season. We had 2 safeties. We didn't know how they were going to play, both coming off Achilles injuries the year before. We said we drafted up a cornerback, 2nd round, said he was going to start. Well, he missed multiple games and didn't even start. Anthony Brown came and had a very good year. We said, with the safety room, we said one of our safeties, what's the guy that we thought it was going to be, I can't get his name, but he missed 5 games. The other safety we had.
Donovan Wilson.
Donovan Wilson missed 5 games. We had Golston. We had to depend on a Golston, a 4th round pick, and Osa, a 3rd round pick. And Golston didn't even practice the whole entire summer because he had a hamstring problem. And this defense went from 31st to 12th. That's historic. That if you would have been told somebody before the season that all this was going to happen, there's no one in football history where I told you, say, and you're going to depend on, yes,
Coach,
they'll go from 31st.
I got receipts.
12th.
I got receipts, bro. Receipts saying this defense was going to be better by default. Period. It was going to be middle of the road just because Dan Quinn was here. So that I don't think that was a shock that it would finish 12th or 15th, but it was a shock that they did better than that. They actually did better than that.
But
Coach,
God, everybody that you
Coach,
we named.
where I'm having a hard time with this is you just said you think this defense is going to be one of the greatest defenses of all time that you've ever seen in the history, and you sound like you an old head and you've seen the '85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, the Buccaneers, the Steel Curtain, the Doomsdays. You putting them in that category?
I'm not saying. I'm talking about what I seen last year. I cannot say when we talk about numbers if they're going to be. But in my history in football, when you play on defense, 24 guys, and some of your main people in a young defense that you just put together in 1 year, and you have the multitude of injuries and question marks that you have in a season. Sometimes we so close to the action, we forget about all the shuffling that went along. And then I watch a defense that was competitive and even was dominating some games this year. I consider that historic, because if these type of situations rarely or never happen when you have this much adversity in a young, just put together defense, and that's with any coordinator. We had multiple. Everybody that we could pick, Sky, at the beginning of the year that we said was coming back from this defense, and I forget, and yes, we might talk bad about, Jalen Smith was cut. Neal was brought in. He missed 5 games. There was a multitude of people missing games that we depended on at the beginning of the season, like this year right here. Last year at this time, we were saying Donovan Wilson going to be important.
You're not saying anything. You're talking about guys missing games, and we did good. That's true. What does that have to do with the defense being historically great in 2022? Like
if this is what's going to make this defense historically great.
Oh, this is what makes them historically great. Everybody stays healthy. Everybody stays healthy, and they're number one in turnovers again, number one in sacks, right? Number one in points, number one in y'all. Like, you're going to need to be top 3, 4, 5 in all of those statistical categories for this team to be historically great. You see that happening? I mean, that is some crazy hopium. I think this defense is going to be really good. Historically great, Coach? What are we? Come on, man. If that is hold on, because I got to say this.
Hold up.
Because this is the problem, and this is the problem I have with Cowboys Nation. I hate to use this word, but that is the most homerish I've heard all off season, Coach. And I don't like to use that to fans, but that is some homer stuff right there, bro.
Sky, let me explain to you where you're wrong at. You just said that if we lose a player or we lose multiple players, yes, it could be a problem. I just told you about 11 instances that if this defense lost players and didn't even play as a full unit for 90% of the season.
Which point?
And they still improved and produced. So what happens when you just added some players and you get
so what happens when they don't get hurt again? Is what you're saying? Or if they don't get hurt? Injuries happen, man. You think this defense is going to be 100% all year?
Scott, tell me.
Come on, man.
Scott, tell me
this
is football.
Man.
If you lose Randy Gregory for 5 games, D-Law for 10 games, you lose Donovan Wilson for 5 games. These are guys we depend on.
Listen, I didn't forget nothing, Coach, because I think this defense is going to be a really good defense. I'm literally just hanging on you calling it going to be one of the best defenses you've ever seen in your life. What? Like how can you say that?
If this defense can go from 31st to 12th with that much adversity, what you think they could do with a year?
They can go from 12th to 3rd. That doesn't mean it's historically great.
Sky, football, and I can tell you I know football. If you had this adversity that you had last year, it's almost impossible for a person to put in his system and to get it together when you don't even have the unit that you actually were going to deal with all together a whole year.
It's not impossible, man. It's called good coaching. It's called having a Micah Parsons, right? It's called good coaching and having players. I think we're under this assumption that
Guys,
listen.
I guarantee you,
Listen.
90% of the coaches that I know or anybody can tell you have that many moving parts in a 1-year setting that it's very hard to say I can get some continuity and put something together and have it ready and be productive.
The Green Bay Packers.
Let's talk about it.
The Green Bay Packers in their Super Bowl season had one of the most injury-riddled seasons in the history of the league. Okay, they had more players on injured reserve than anyone on offense and defense. You know where they finished, Coach? Second in the NFC in defense. Would you consider that defense an all-time great defense? One. Number two, it showed you right there that it is possible to have a good defense with injuries, man, because of good coaching.
Let's talk about the Green Bay. I'm glad you mentioned. How long that Mike Holman was with that defense, right?
No, sir. Mike McCarthy was.
Mike McCarthy. Mm-hmm. And how long was that defense? And how long was that team put together? How long that defense coordinator was there?
I want to
say that a brand new defense.
I want to say that not Dick LeBeau. What's the cat? Capers. Don Capers ended up staying there for a while. I don't know when he came on board though. I can check for you. Give me a second.
Was that defense? Did that defense come there from scratch? With how many different defense coaches we brought in after we fired this last group?
That was about 4 here's the funny thing. That was Don Capers' second year with the Green Bay Packers.
And was the defense 31st the year before historically bad?
I don't know. I don't know what the defense was before that. I'm just letting you know that teams can still have really good defenses when players get injured because you have a good coach.
And guess what? You're being led when you're saying the leaders of the defense, of our defense, the ones that were the leaders of the defense, mostly was rookies.
Here's what I'm going to do, Coach.
One was a rookie.
Here's what I'm going to do, Coach.
So who would think the rookie would be a leader in his first year and be dominant?
Here's what I'm going to do, Coach. I'm going to let you have that because I don't want this. I don't want what I'm saying to come off like I don't think this is going to be a good defense. I'm only holding on to you saying this is going to be one of the greatest defenses in the history of football. That is such a far left statement that's just it's your opinion to have it. You can have that. I hope like hell they have the greatest defense of all time. I can't say that right now.
Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, and we think that it is supposed to happen this way. But this is a positive statement to the Cowboys because I remember if we had one player hurt, the defense fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they got better. And we never even talked about the defense. When guys was out, I don't even think we went into any games this year when the guys was out and said, man, we're going to have a problem stopping people.
Yeah, I got nothing else on it, Coach. I think there's going to be a really damn good defense, Coach. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, and I think it'll be one of the best defenses in the league.
If they stay together, it could be very special.
If it is one of the greatest defenses of all time in the history of the league, the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl. They will win the Super Bowl.
Scott, I want you to make sure you got my statement correct. I didn't say this coming year, because this coming year, what I said was historic for the adversity that this defense had last year. What they did and accomplished was historic.
No. You started off the call saying that you think this defense will be one of the greatest defenses you've ever seen.
What I saw last year, run the tape, what I saw last year, I said last year's team, their defense was historic. And that's the only reason I pointed out the issues they had last year. I can't say what's going to happen, but for what they did accomplish from 31st to 12th with those scenarios was historic.
But you also said that this defense is going to be one of the greatest defenses you've ever seen in your life, right?
No, I said that was one of the greatest defenses I saw last year. Performances. Now, I'm not talking about stats, but performances. But this is a very
losing.
possibility that this defense can be great. Pull the tape. That's what I say.
I don't disagree about the defense being great. So maybe I'm mistaken. I could have sworn. Maybe I'm hearing
what
you.
I said. The reason why I pointed out the other stuff for what happened, I pointed out those things because I said what the defense did last year to me was one of the greatest things that I ever seen a defense do, because it was historic based on all of those things that I pointed out, and for them to go from 31st to 12th, even though they had coaching, but from 31st to 12th with all those problems and playing that many players, I thought that's what historic. It may not have ranked as a Chicago Bears defense, but if you look at the adversity that they went through from where they came from.
What do you think this defense is going to be in 2022, Coach? Just so I can make it clear, because I'll run the tape back.
Healthy. This defense should be a top 3 defense.
Okay, so you don't think it's going to be one of the greatest defenses you've ever seen with your own eyes?
What I said again, I said this is one of the greatest things I've seen in my own eyes from what they came from last year, what they did last year with the adversity that they went through. That's the greatest thing that I said, that when I saw that was very historic. When I say historic, I mean the greatest. That was historic. I can't say nothing, but I'm saying what I saw. I can never predict historic, but for what I saw, what they went through last year to come from where they was to what they did, that's what's historic when you go through the laundry list of hurt, young, guys that never played full time, we didn't know, guys coming off major injuries that produced that. All those question marks turn in from 31st to 12th.
All right.
That usually don't happen.
Gotcha. Cool. One of the greatest things you ever seen that was last year, not coming up. Hey, appreciate it, Coach. Bit of a confusion.
All right, man. Scott, have a good weekend, brother.
You too, man. You too. That's 2 for 2 now with Coach. Back though. I know I'm not crazy. I got y'all 917-920 and 973. I'm listening here. I'm just trying to make sure we got this right here. Okay. So Coach said what he was saying here. Last year's defense is one of the greatest defenses he's ever seen in the history of football. All right, Coach, we're clear on that one there. All right, man. Still think that's a bit wild, but you're not saying this 2022 defense is going to be one of the greatest defenses you've ever seen in your life. But if 2022 they're going to prove, why not? Coach 2 for 2, man. He 2 for 2. Damn, Sam, I was about to get you in there. Let's get 920 in here.
What's up, Mr. Steele?
What's good, man? What's goody?
Hey, I was just hearing Coach talk. You know, I really do believe that the Cowboys defense would be a top 5 defense. I really do believe. And I think they're gonna keep us in a lot of games. I'm really frantic about this season, man. I see some things. I looked at Dak Prescott. Man, he looked so slim. I'm like, he lost a lot of weight. He looked like he gonna be running. I really do. I really believe that the Cowboys gonna turn some heads, especially with their defense, man. And one thing, it's they had a receivers coming to visit, and it's this guy from the USFL.
Turpin and Maurice Alexander, yeah.
No, that MVP guy.
Turpin. Yeah, Turpin. That's how you say it.
I saw some highlights on that brother, man. Wow. I'm like, what happened to him during the draft.
I still haven't
That he
really
didn't
looked
get
that man
picked
up.
up.
Let me see something.
Oh, you got to check his highlights out, dude. I was checking out all last night, man. Oh, this dude got speed. I mean, he a little bit. He's like a gadget type of guy, Nugget. You know how they used to do it. And yeah,
Is this the dude that's 5 foot? Oh, dude, he's 5'9",
yeah.
155 pounds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Check out it. Check out his highlights, bro. For real. Check his. I mean,
that's a little dude.
Catch. I mean, he can catch too.
Yeah.
You got to check him out, man. I was like blown by it because of this.
Keep talking.
He's so small, and maybe that's why he didn't, get drafted. But the guy got some. Man, I was impressed. And Dallas needed kickoff return and a punt return. You can't have Rams, doing it. You don't want to get him hurt. Special teams got too.
We talked about that, them needing to have a guy back there. Me personally, I don't get why they don't put Tony Pollard back there. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm looking at this Turpin guy as you're speaking.
Yeah. Wow, I was like, man, he blown me. I was surprised.
Anybody know this? Anybody know his 40 time?
I don't. You know what? I didn't know. I didn't. No. I think the Giants was trying to get him. There was some people trying to get him.
Is he a running
back? But Dallas, he's supposed to be coming in there today in Dallas to visit. Yeah.
Oh, he got some breakaway speed.
That's what I'm saying.
He caught this one ball just now across the middle of the field and just took. Oh yeah. He's explosive. This is my first time actually looking at him. He's explosive. He's just little.
And he do special teams too. The guy is on one of them plays. You're gonna watch him, and he gonna get like a. It's not a reverse. I guess it's a sweep around where he's going into the end zone, and they got one man in ahead of him, and he just made this dude look real bad.
Hey, little.
The guy can, yeah.
I want to say Sproles, because didn't Sproles go to TCU? Am I wrong on this?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, yep.
Okay,
yes, he did.
He looked like him when he's returning, but he ain't built like a Sproles. Sproles had tree trunk thighs. I want to say Sproles was closer to 200 pounds. He might have been 200 pounds. And he was a bigger dude, but interesting cat. He tiny, but so was who was number 13? We had Lucky Whitehead. So was Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Yeah. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. He's supposed to be at the start of the day at a visit.
Well, he already did it. This was they did it last week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure. Well, man, I would check him out, man. He, special team guy, punt return, and he can be in the slot a little bit. He's fast too, man. Yeah. Why not?
They brought him in. We'll see what happens, though, man.
Yeah. But anyway,
Kansas
man, love
State.
to
Thank
talk
you. He didn't
to
go
you,
to
man.
TCU. I appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, anytime, bro.
Thank you for listening,
All
man.
right, thanks a lot.
My bad. It wasn't. He didn't go to TCU. He went to Kansas State. Thank you, chat. LaDainian LT went to TCU. Yeah. He's still on the phone here. Yeah, see, Andrew said it right there. LaDainian Tomlinson went to TCU. My bad. But yeah, I'm just looking at the highlights right now. I'm not really, that's tiny guy. But if I'm looking for a pure special teams dude, my man can do that. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. I don't know how much slot stuff he can do, being that tiny. Professor O said Tavon was 30 pounds heavier. Yeah, 155, bro. That's small. That's really small, but he got some juice though. 917. What it is, what it do. 917 going once.
Hello?
Yep. You live. What's good?
Wow, this is crazy. Would you believe me if I told you I've been watching the show for years and never called in?
I would believe you. I would believe, man. I appreciate it. First time caller?
Yes, first time caller. Nice to meet you still.
Welcome to the show, man. Nice to have you on.
Would you mind if I went to a topic that I heard you debating yesterday with one of the callers?
Oh, when the callers call in, bro, you can take it wherever you want.
All right, so yesterday, a caller was trying to make a correlation. He was trying to make an example, I should say, with CeeDee Lamb, and I'm not sure if you got it, so I wanted to try to reword it because I kind of agree with him. Basically, he was saying, do you believe it would be harder for CeeDee Lamb to flourish? Because you were saying that you believe he would get anything more, 1,200 yards or more. And he was saying, do you believe it would be easier to do that with a number one corner on you with safety help or a number two corner and no safety help? And I think the reason he's asking that is because with no Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb is going to be getting the number one receiver and most likely that umbrella over top on his side. And some Cowboys fans don't believe that CeeDee is ready for that smoke yet. So I think that's why he was asking you that question. He wasn't asking you, would you? Because you responded with, oh, why would you put safety help on your number one receiver side?
No.
And I think he was just saying that's what CeeDee's gonna get, and he has to be ready for that this year. And I think he doesn't believe that he's ready for that. And I might be on his side a little bit.
I think y'all still wrong. I didn't. What I'm saying is, in his scenario, I would not put a safety over my number one corner. I would flip it. I'd put the worst corner and then the safety over there if I'm going to put him on CeeDee Lamb. So the point that I was making yesterday is that I believe CeeDee Lamb could get his 1,200 yards regardless, unless they're just going to continue to they're going to triple double team him all game. That doesn't happen. Like there's this thought process in fans' heads that cornerback ones just literally travel with wide receiver ones all game. It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. There's this thought process in fans' head that they're going to put a safety over you all game. That doesn't happen. Right. Also, his point was that, hey, man, he ain't going to have no help over there. What's going to happen? Well, Michael Gallup's going to play, right? Like, it's not like Michael Gallup's not playing all year. Michael Gallup's going to play. And Dak Prescott got 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons out of Michael Gallup and out of Amari Cooper when those two guys were 1 and 2. Are we to believe that CeeDee Lamb can't fill in adequately for Amari Cooper and get – I think Cooper had like 1,189 yards with Michael Gallup on the other side. It's not some rocket science thing that he can't get the 1,200 yards with Michael Gallup on the other side.
Right. I'm kind of I know I started the argument saying that I might be kind of on his side, but I might be more towards the middle of the spectrum on the situation because, like you're saying, I don't believe it's asinine to say that he'd be able to get that. Like you said, Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper got it done with Dak, and you think CeeDee is a more dynamic player. So you would think he'd be able to get it done. Right. But the only reason I'm having little thoughts about it is because I know Dak, Dak was iffed up. And the whole offense was in disarray. But CeeDee he didn't end the season off too well. I was listening to something that said he didn't score for like the last 8 games of the season. And then he didn't have a 100-yard game for like the last 10 games of the season.
Who ended this season off well on offense?
Who? As far as from a receiver standpoint?
Anyone.
Nobody. It was a shit show. Oh, excuse my language. I apologize.
But you're fine.
It was bad.
Right. Right.
It was very bad.
No one ended the season well on offense. Yeah. Not a single soul in regards to the skill position. So, I mean, that's kind of I feel like it's a low-hanging fruit. Well, he didn't finish the year off great last year, so that means he's not going to do great next year. Really? That's where we're going with it? No. And then the other reason why I thought he could break that barrier is because he's going to get so much more of the target share, right? So, if he's going to get you 90 receptions this year, which in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, it might have even been 2020, Amari Cooper got you 92 receptions. I feel like you give 92 receptions to CeeDee Lamb, he can break 1,200 yards.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, I mean, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, we all have the same goal. We want to see this team be as successful as possible. So I want to see CD go for 1,400 yards. You know?
Yeah.
But it's just some things you see. Like, listen, I'll leave you with this because I know you have so many other callers. But that playoff game, you know, he was targeted 5 times. He had 1 reception, and things like that. Things like that leave a bad taste in your mouth because that was the biggest game of his young career.
Had the biggest reception taken away from a holding penalty. Do you not remember that? 43-yard reception taken away.
In that Niners game.
We're blaming CD Lamb. He didn't. The one play CD Lamb had a bad play was when he dropped the ball on 2nd and 11. He dropped the ball.
Drop Sky. Oh man, I'm sorry, Sky. I'm glad you said that. The drops is another thing.
It's over.
We got to fix that.
The drops are overrated. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Well, I think he has this. Listen, I know you. I'm so sorry to cut you off, rude, but I know you always say, you know, Jamar. Listen, CD's not Jamar Chase, man. CD's not going out there getting 60-yard plays at random. You know, you can drop some balls when you can brick the 80 any other play. Jamar Chase is a different being than CD Lamb, bro.
Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuels, A.J. Brown, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller. I mean, Cooper Kupp. All these guys had more or as equal drops as CD Lamb or more drop percentages than CD Lamb. CD Lamb was given 7. CD Lamb was given 7 drops targeted to him, I believe it was, via PFF. 2 of those drops came in week 1. 3 of those drops came against the Giants. That's 5 drops right there, bro. In 2 games, 15 weeks apart. So it's not like CeeDee Lamb is just out here dropping the ball every single game.
I've seen some crucial drops, guy. I'm talking about drive, extending drops. I'm talking.
Give me,
you know what I mean?
Give me the crucial drop that cost you the game, aside from that playoff, because that's the one. If you want to talk about that one, I give you that. Give me the crucial drop. It cost you the game, or it cost you a significant opportunity to whatever in the game last year.
Absolutely.
Go.
No, I agree. I wouldn't say he had any plays that cost us the game. I would say he had plays that cost us a drive. And when talking about a receiver of his caliber, that shouldn't even be a conversation we should be having. He shouldn't be costing us anything. He should be only, you know what I mean? He should be only adding to our situation.
So he should be perfect.
No, I'm saying that he shouldn't have the second highest drop ratio in the NFL. That's terrible.
Sir, I just told you.
He has
Deebo Samuels had 14 drops.
Right, but these guys' production rates are a lot higher.
These guys' target rates are higher.
It's higher.
Cowboys
exactly.
is so wild to me. It's so wild to me. Because if you gave CD Lamb the same amount of targets, he clears 1,300 yards or whatever the hell you want him, whatever the number is.
I don't know, Sky. We only got 1,100 out of him, and how many targets he led our team in targets? He led our team in targets. I can't believe I said it, but I said it. He only had 1,100 yards. Because we're putting him in conversation with Justin, Jeb, Jamar Chase. These dudes are putting up 1,300, 14. So yes, I have to say only.
Well, he is in conversation because he is 8th all time. 8th all time in receiving yards before the age of 23. And he's done that with 5 different quarterbacks. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them while having to compete.
And an injured Dak.
Injured Dak, all while having to compete with other players getting targets. So why is he not?
I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that because Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup done nothing but help him. They're not slowing his progression.
I didn't say slowing progression. I'm talking about just getting more targets. I'm talking about the numbers, the numbers aspect of things. I am just perplexed at the doubt, the question mark hanging over this man's head as if he's a mediocre talent. I don't understand it because if you look at most wide receiver ones that came into the league as wide receiver 2s that have this type of talent, this is the year, right? All right, year 3, you the man. And they usually work because they're good football players. But for whatever reason, I don't necessarily understand why this guy is being doubted that he can't continue to improve. I'm not understanding it. He hasn't shown anything to me from a physical standpoint that he can't be a guy to get 169 targets and come away with, top 10 wide receiver production over the year.
Right. Yeah, well, I think the Justin Jefferson situation, I think that's making Cowboys fans, feel the way they are, because everybody thought he'd be, if not better, at least the same. And, Justin Jefferson's just been all world. So I guess that'd be a reason why people would, devalue CeeDee Lamb. But listen, I'm all for it. I hope he goes, bonkers. I hope he goes out there and goes for 1,400 yards. You know what I mean? And I hope it's an efficient 1,400 yards. But thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. This is the first time calling. My name in the chat is A Boogie the Boss, but
A Boogie.
I don't mind what you. Yeah, you can put me down as whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Wide receivers drop balls every day, B.
Yes, sir.
They drop balls every day, eh?
Absolutely.
Shout out to Peyton Full.
All right, Scott. Thank you, Scott.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Have a good one, boss. Thank you.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb had 47 less targets than Justin Jefferson. 47. Ladies and gentlemen, if he had 47 more targets, you mean to tell me he ain't cracking 1,300 yards? This is perplexing. I'm speechless. He's honestly the player that I thought most Cowboy fans would easily be all the way behind. I mean, he ain't Dak. He ain't Zeke. He ain't getting overpaid. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been controversial. I'm just perplexed on this, man. And I'm really trying to find, the only thing I can think of is the drop situations. And we talked about the drops, hell, maybe one day we'll actually go through them and look at the significance of the drops. The drops were annoying, like the Giants game comes to mind and the Tampa game, because I think the very first play of the season or something like that, first target, he dropped the ball. Very first target. And then the Giants game, he had 3 drops, the one in the sun, and then he dropped the ball across the middle. That was an annoying game. This was like week 13, whatever the hell it was. But other than that, during the season, I wasn't tripping. It was more so in the back half of the season where the miscommunication was going on. Dak missing practice, him missing practice, Coop missing practice, and the miscommunication. That was more annoying to me. The worst drop of the year was 2nd and 11 in the playoffs. But if it's the drops, that's having everybody hold back. All right. Deebo Samuels had 14 drops, and I could be wrong with that. I think it was definitely double digits. A lot of drops. Nobody's coming for Deebo because he was featured and given that opportunity. You put the rock in CeeDee Lamb's hand, I think good things happen. I don't think bad things happen. I think bad things happen. Oh yeah, he did miss a game. Lamar says, Sky, didn't CD miss a game and a half? He did. I didn't even think about that in regards to his statistics. He absolutely did. No. Listen, I ain't gonna end it just because we debating. Mel, silly. More worried about him getting killed over the middle than his drops. What's wild? If you look at some of his highlights over the first 2 years, he take big hits, but he get back up. Yeah, they weren't all great balls either, too, Lemitra. Week 1, I recall it was a ball, but here's my thing, and I agree with Michael Urban. If it's in your vicinity, that He didn't ask Troy Aikman to put the ball in between the 88s every time. He said, just give me a shot. Some of those I expect CD to catch. And you say, behind, the one in the playoffs wasn't. It was 2 in the Giants game, maybe all 3 of them in the Giants game. They were not bad throws, and he just dropped them. So, yeah. 619. What it is, what it do.
Sky, what's going on? How you doing, man? It's Juan.
What's good, Juan?
Oh, man, I'm just listening. I just tuned in right now, and I was listening to, I don't want to say nonsense, but
it's not. It's not nonsense.
It's just opinions, obviously.
Yeah.
But sometimes they could be far-fetched or just too to the left, like you said earlier. Just in regards to CeeDee Lamb, man, it's just like, my goodness, the slander is ridiculous. We were so happy that he dropped to where we got him, right? Because we were looking at Caleb Chase on an A.J. Terrell, if people don't remember that, right? And then it was going to be Caleb Chase on. And once we got him, we were so ecstatic. And he comes into an offense. I'm just trying to paint perspective here.
Yeah.
That is a run-first offense that still has a resemblance of Jason Garrett. Run the ball with Zeke, sprinkle in some Tony Pollard. And then we also traded a number one pick for Amari Cooper, so he has to get the ball. He also got a contract extension, right? It's just a lot going on, and even still, the man, Sedarius Lamb, he's a grown man, gets 1,100 yards as the second and third leading target choice for Dak on a team that has a lot of weapons, right? But when you look at the top 3 receivers in regards to yardage, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, and Devontae Adams, it doesn't even compare. You mentioned Justin Jefferson. It was about 40-plus targets more. Cooper Kupp had 196 targets, and Devontae Adams had 100. I'm looking up the numbers now. Devontae Adams had 169 targets compared to CeeDee Lamb's 120. I mean, these are 40 to 50 more targets that these other players got.
Right.
Because they're targeting that offense. And maybe that would be more effective if we did that, right? Transition to a new way of playing offense. But to say that the man's not producing, he's been disappointing, is not a fair critique because he's been performing with the opportunities he's been given. And the drops comes with everything. I mean, there's drops that Amari Cooper has. There's drops all around the board that you can paint for every receiver. But it does happen more often than not. But there wasn't a drop where CeeDee Lamb was like, oh my gosh, that caused the game, especially in the Niner game.
The Niner game is
what happened in that game.
Juan, that's the only one though, Juan. I would if you wanted to be like blame CD, it's the Niners game. It was 2nd and 11, and he dropped the ball that could have got us in like 3rd and 6. So yeah, that's the most egregious drop of the season in my opinion. We don't talk about our clutches.
I get that. I get that. Yes, I mean all drops hurt, right? And they hurt more in the playoffs as the fumbles. But to say, like, okay, he dropped the ball that would have made it 3rd and 6. Now what? What if Dak gets sacked? Well, these are all hypotheticals that would have changed the perspective of the game.
Yeah, it's. I was drinking my coffee and I was listening to your conversation. I was like, man, I'm so turned up now. I don't even need no more coffee. I already went. Look. Mr. Unpopular Opinion already got me going on CD yesterday, so I don't need to have that same energy about it.
I missed it, bro. I missed it.
Yeah.
I tuned in. I have it playing in the background, but I gave it my attention and needed it today.
I'm just perplexed. I'm at the point now where I'm speechless. I think I've said everything I can say about the talent that is CeeDee Lamb, the ability he has, the promising future. It's one of the more mystifying things over the last few years I've been hearing about is the doubt about CeeDee Lamb, because I thought this was a guy that I didn't think there was much doubt of. He's the trajectory is exactly what you would expect from a guy that was drafted in the 1st round to be a wide receiver 1, but already had a wide receiver 1 on the team. Now we're in year 3, and he knows the league a little bit more. He's got 3 years with his quarterback, 3 years in the system. Man, I think it. I would feel hella good about said wide receiver. Hella good. But,
Yeah, no doubt. I just, I think sometimes too we get caught up the Cowboy fan base, and I can attest to this too, that we're so the first thing we do is compare. Obviously, we're going to compare him to Dez. Dez was a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more
but bro,
animated, right on the field.
Dez didn't break out till year 3.
I know. I understand. I'm not saying that he was
Right.
better or he was less of a player.
Right.
Just saying sometimes that when a player is a little bit more animated, he does bring a little bit more attention, and fans get riled up. So we ignore how bad of a route runner Dez was. That the whole league knew he was running 2 routes, right? But we didn't say that because he produced when he was called upon. And just like CeeDee Lamb, there's just no difference. CeeDee's just a quiet guy. He does the little nose thing when he gets the first down, but I mean, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, and then it will be typical Cowboy Nation. Man, I knew it. I knew I loved CD the whole time. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's go get this ring then.
Back. Hey, Juan, appreciate you calling in, man.
Bro. Yeah, thank you for taking it so late, bro. I appreciate you.
Nah,
we got
good.
to link up, like I said.
For sure.
All right, my guy.
I said we going to go long today. We can go long. It's Friday. I'm good. Appreciate you, Juan. Derek said, we're not worried about the future, Sky. We want to win now. Well, when I say future, I mean if you're talking about CD last year and looking into the future meaning upcoming season. I don't mean future 2 years down the line. You know, future technically is September. I don't mean, hey, you know, we all should be excited about CD in 2026. No. Should be excited about him now. I'm saying, you know, going into year 3, this one, like I said, this came out of nowhere to me. Out of nowhere. And I think it's one of those cases where, y'all, for those that have been around, I don't know, I need to figure out a way to put this in, but the Cowboy fans need a win. We need a win. Because what's happening is the good things that we do have, because of the anger or because of the frustrations or because of not winning, we look at these good things that every other team would be ecstatic about, would absolutely love to have. And we look at it as, well, because we're not winning, because of you, because you're not good enough. You're not what we want, which we want perfect. We want elite across the board. We want unreasonable because we haven't won. So we can't really enjoy the good that we do have because there's too much, and this is fair. This is totally fair because I am tired and frustrated too. There's too much frustration of the end game not happening. So Dallas needs a win. Dallas goes to the NFC Championship game last year. You know what we talking about here? We're excited about that. We're excited about CeeDee Lamb. And they could have went just like the Niners did. 100% if the Cowboys went to the NFC Championship game the same way the 49ers did. Not great passing offense. Defense took them there. Offensive outputs were awful. I guarantee y'all be in here elated about CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, Ezekiel, whoever the hell else, right? So we need to win. Man, we had so many of those calls that I did not see Aaron drop a absolute banger. I'm gonna drop the bump. We'll give you that before we get into the actual super chat drop, man.
Super chat.
Thank you, Aaron, for the $99.99 donation. First round of drinks in Oxnard with Vach, Law, Dave, and Jeff on me at Hit Stick Master 2. Oh, so Aaron, that's okay. That's you. Appreciate you, dog. You called into the show not too long ago. Here's my point. I don't hate the result, but Cowboys process annoys me. A nobody from 561 knew they were going to take Tyler Smith before the draft. TK God, thank God, he's at guard. Well, you know, there's some things. The draft process I'm fine with. Y'all know me about other things. My apologies. I get going. I got y'all. Sky, get the damn super chat. I got it, man. Look, Ron hits me up on Twitter. So if I would have missed it, which I wouldn't have, I would have thanked him there. But I appreciate you. He said, "Can we feed the kids now?" Thank you, Ron. Is that a fair assessment on why we are so hard on the bright stars of this team? Is because we're just frustrated overall. Adrian said, "Resend the super chat." Oh, man. Trying to get some of y'all in here. I got you, B-Bird, real quick. Trey said, man, I'm funny. My facial expressions be having me. My facial expressions save me from going the emotions pouring out. But I appreciate y'all for allowing me to be me. Right? Because I am very animated. That doesn't necessarily mean, I'm disrespectful or anything like that. But I'm very animated, and y'all allow me to be that way. Y'all don't tune me out. What do CD do when he drops the ball, Sky? Look at his hands. Okay. Oh, I remember the big pun, dude. I thought he was an Eagle fan. Wasn't he an Eagle fan? What up, Twan? The other Twan, Mr. Wright, Antoine Myers, coming through. All right, let's get to B-Bird, man. B-Bird, you always got something for me, OG. Happy Friday to you and the family, man.
Hey, the same to you, brother. But what I want to talk about a little bit about wide receivers and their mentality. One of the things I want to say, man, this is going to be real quick, is whoever the wide receiver is, I know that some people are like, well, whenever they throw the ball out, they'll be ready. But one of the things is, man, we have to work on getting our guys the ball early in the game, getting them involved, getting the juices flowing, and then later on that pays dividends. Any wide receiver, if you go away from that guy for 3 quarters and then you expect for him to be there in the 4th quarter, his mind's not going to be there. It's just not – I don't like when people say, well, guys ought to be ready and this, that, and other. That's no different than you having the trashiest quarterback in the league, and you know he can't get you the ball, but there's one play that you're open, he throws a bomb, and you're not ready. You're like, well, he should have been ready. No, dude, the numbers say that this guy can't get me the ball. I'm just running routes for nothing. And what I'm trying to say is that you have to get these guys going early, the CDs. It was Dez. It was Drew. It was all these other guys, Devontae Adams. You got to get them the ball early. I don't care if it's just a ball in the flats or wherever. Let's get CD the ball early, get his juices flowing, get him in the game, let him know he's making a difference, and then it's going to pay dividends at the end. Too many times we've let defenses scheme our guys out, and then we're like, well, Cooper wasn't there in the 3rd, Cooper wasn't there in the 4th. That's because y'all never made a concerted effort to give him the ball in the 1st and the 2nd just to get him involved in the game.
B-Bird.
Hey, man, I just wanted to just get that statement, man.
Yeah, let me add on to it. Amari Cooper came out later in the year, went on the radio, and he said exactly what you said. He said, hey, man, I would like to be involved early because I feel like if I'm involved early, I'm more involved in general. I think we expect these guys to be robots, right? Like, there's the Larry Fitzgeralds of the world, right? Where, hey, Larry cannot touch the ball all game and he's going to go 100 million% and try to lay people. Look, I get it. I get that. I ain't saying Amari Cooper's Larry. But Amari Cooper is a really damn good talent that when you put the ball in his hands, good things can happen. And when he's telling you, hey, man, I feel more involved and I can do more things when I'm involved earlier because, and it wasn't just because I'm greedy and I want the rock, but, hey, I can see how this corner is playing me, right? How is he playing me on this comeback route? How is he playing me on this 7 route, on this post route, on this, this 10-yard dig, whatever. He can say, hey, Dak, we ran that twice, and every time I get to the top of my stem, boom, he's biting. I'm gonna run a double, or I'm gonna go on the outside. I'm gonna break 7 yards instead of 10. He's playing like you can have that conversation. Well, I can't have that conversation if you don't target me but 2 times, and we're here 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So I 100% agree with you. Get your best playmakers the ball early and often. I do not subscribe to the offensive philosophy of take what the defense gives you. I subscribe with go out there and take it. And if you got guys like CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Tony Pollard that are, playmakers, put the ball in their hands.
So Sky, if you playing against a team, say you're playing against a team's number 1 wide receiver, and in the 3rd quarter he got 1 catch, for 12 yards. Scott, let me tell you what you're doing. You're talking trash. You're saying, man, you suck. And then now he got to go back into the huddle, and it's just like these aren't robots, as you said.
Yeah.
These are human beings. Hey, they want to put and in sports, is there a more position that's more reliable on somebody else than wide receiver? There's not. Nope. And people say, well, they're divas because they know what they can do. And we're talking about in any sport. wide receiver is dependent upon the quarterback position. It is your success rate depends on the quarterback. So it's not nothing that you can do on your own. You can run a route and be open 15 yards. If that quarterback doesn't throw you the ball, it doesn't matter how you got open. And so what I'm saying is these guys are not robots. Get CD the ball early. Let him feel like he's going. Guess who's on the other side of the field in the San Francisco game? His best friend, Debo, clowning. So he wants to do the same thing. You remember when Dez went against Megatron? He was on the sideline going crazy. Why?
Crazy.
Because I want to do that too. Like, man, I'm trying to show this, and I can't. I'm not allowed to do what he's doing. These guys, they do play with emotion, and the thing about it is you get them in early. It's never been this. Man, we got him the ball early. He was going, but then he fell off at the end. It's never been that. It's been, well, we went to him in the third, fourth quarter, but he wasn't out. Yeah, that's what it is. You got to get these guys the ball early. What I'm trying to say is, man, we need to get CD the ball early in these games, make a concerted effort to get him the ball, establish who he is, which I wanted them to do with Cooper last year, and then we could play off that with other guys, right? When they saying, man, we getting ripped with CD, we need coverage over there now. We start going to other places. It's going to open up some other things. And I'm going to let you go, man. I got to get out of here, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, B-Bird. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Yeah. Man, listen, offensive coordinators, and this is going to be the job of Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, is to get them to rock. But offensive coordinators around the league, I'm just going to say the Sean McVays of the world. Let me ask y'all a question. We're talking receivers. And this is going to be this is controversial. My take is going to be maybe, whatever. Cooper Kupp. Is Cooper Kupp more talented than Amari Cooper and CD Lamb? Is Cooper Kupp more talented than Amari Cooper and CD Lamb? And the reason why I bring that up is because I think Cooper Kupp is fantastic. Do I think Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in the NFL? Absolutely not. Well, then why was he the most productive wide receiver in the NFL? Coaching. We did the project. We talked about how when Amari Cooper was targeted 8+ times in a game, he was top 5 in all these different categories from a game-to-game basis. When he was not productive in that sense. So what would that tell you? Hey, maybe I should target him more. We cannot fall into the same thing with CD Lamb, who some of us would say have better skill sets than Amari Cooper did or does, whatever. We can't fall into the trap of, well, he just going to be a decoy. Or, we'll get him involved later. Let's get this to Schultz. Let's get this to Said or Tolbert in this case, James Washington. And then we'll get CD Lamb involved later if this doesn't work out. He's one of your best players. I said this before. The best coordinators in this league, through hell or high water, find ways to get your best players the ball. Cooper Kupp, as I've seen in this chat, almost an emphatic no. Cooper Kupp was the most productive and most dangerous wide receiver last year in the National Football League that we've seen in maybe since Megatron's 3,000-yard season. Wasn't really 3,000 yards. And that's because the coach made a concerted effort to get his best playmaker the ball. And, Mr. Twan, appreciate you, bro.
Super chat.
$20 donation. He says, hell no, he's not. His QB forced him the ball. He makes him the first target. CD and Coop are nasty. Yeah. That's my point. It's going to fall. I'm telling you, it's going to fall on Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott. I said this weeks ago, right? I was like, what happens with CD this year ain't going to be because of CD, in my opinion. It's going to be because of Kellen and Dak, and that's good or bad. Good or bad. Y'all want to keep it going? I'm in a groove, man. Y'all want to keep it going? Let's roll. We got a couple more on the phone. 424. What's good?
Hello?
What's up, 424? You are live.
Hey, how's it going, Sky? Just wanted to give you a shout out for all the great work you've been doing for the
appreciate
nation.
It, man.
Your show is a must watch, so I appreciate you having me on. So I wanted to just touch on a few callers ago. I think as Cowboy fans, we are so used to winning championships, or some of us are used to like the 90s when we just won and won and won and won, that we don't give our team a chance to grow and to mature. Like CeeDee Lamb was a second-year player. His first year really didn't count because he had Dalton throwing to him, no Dak, no run, like basically a thrown together mishmash team. Last year was basically his first year. He had 1,100 yards, and we saying that wasn't good enough. Like, to me, that's head scratching. Like 1,100 yards when you were the third option. Like the Dak was looking for Amari and then Dalton after that, and then he'd come back to CeeDee Lamb as an afterthought. So.
Yeah, what mystifies me, and bear with me here, I'm about to look up some stats. What mystifies me is that when it was just Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup in 2019, Amari Cooper had 1,189 yards and 8 touchdowns on 79 receptions, by the way. And it was just 2 good receivers. I'm not going to, whatever. It was just 2 top receivers, right? It wasn't 3. Well, now CeeDee Lamb slides into Amari Cooper's role with Michael Gallup back. Why can't CeeDee Lamb do that?
That's strange to me as well.
I don't understand that, bro. I'm not asking for Terrence Williams to do it. I'm not asking for Seth Wilson to do it. I'm asking for Sadadrian
or anyone like that. Right. So I'm confused with that as well because we were praising Amari Cooper. He was manna from heaven. Like, look, he dropped in and look what happened. Yeah. He didn't. Amari never had like a dominant number 1 receiver season with us, even when he got targets.
Well.
And then he checked himself out of games.
Oh, well.
Like, we don't talk about that. Like,
no, we do.
We didn't talk about that. He didn't compete.
Oh, no.
Like,
what's your name?
When he went up against number 1 dog, Mark.
Mark. Trust and believe me, this has been talked about on this channel. Me personally, I don't feed into it, but I get it, right? I get it. The 2019 Eagles thing. People also bring up the Stephon Gilmore game. It's talked about on here. The chat will tell you.
Yeah. No, I'm saying you do, but I mean throughout the nation. Besides like you and Bosh, like most, and the guys who cover the Cowboys that actually know football, everyone else is just making it seem like Amari was just Randy Moss every year. He was here, and that we lost a lot. Yeah, he was a great route runner. He had the potential to be an elite receiver, but it never materialized. But we have a dude who wants that opportunity.
Let me ask you, Mark. Do you think it never materialized? I still viewed him as a top 10 receiver while he was here, but do you think it never materialized because of him or because of the scheme or the quarterback, or you think it's solely
I think that
him?
We are not. No, I won't put it solely on him. He takes some responsibility because there were opportunities for him to break out.
Sure.
And I think Dak missed him on some routes that he was wide open, but more than anything, it's the system. We're not a matchup-driven like system. Like, we just kind of call plays to call plays. Like, we never really take advantage of our mismatches as we should. Like, that's even going back to when Linehan was calling plays. Like, we just call a play based on coverage, and sometimes we just call a play. It's not even based on coverage. We could be getting man coverage, and then we call something that should be a cover 2 beater, and then wonder why no one's open and everybody's in scramble drill. Like, that is what we have to get better at. So I think the offensive play calling needs to not overhaul, but look at matchups more than just calling plays because it looks good on paper. And I think that would help CD be the best version of himself, and it would have helped Amari as well. But Amari is not a dude that shows up looking to compete, in my opinion. Like, if things go great, they go great. But he kind of like puts his head down. If he doesn't get the ball early, he's out of the game for the rest of the game. And like, it's a tough situation when that's your number one, and the guys are young, looking at him to be the catalyst.
See, Mark, I find that interesting. That what you just said right there. If he doesn't get involved early, he puts his head down and takes himself out the game. I don't listen, bro. I don't see that. Like, he still was running his route and getting open in the fourth quarter when he only had 3 receptions. But at some point,
I'm watching body language though.
Right. Well, if you want to watch body language, he's the wrong person to watch, right? Like, Amari Cooper's body language is awful. He's not a guy that's he ain't Dez. You know what I'm saying? He ain't a dude that's going to go out there and be rah-rah. And I think if we can, as fans, understand that everybody's going to be that way and accept the player for who they are, then I think if Amari Cooper played with a Peyton Manning in a certain type of scheme like that, he'd literally be Marvin Harrison. A guy that is not – you hate his body language, but you also hate playing against him, right? So be careful looking at a player like that's body language. But if you go look in the fourth quarters, I mean, he's still routing people up. But
yeah, I think he's gifted as a route runner, as a receiver, period. But Marvin Harrison never looked as if he was out of the game, regardless if he had 1 target or 10 targets.
Because they ain't taking him out. You think Peyton and Tom Moore was going to be like, nah, just a distraction? No, they was going to him.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we missed opportunities with Amari. And it's not an indictment on Amari. I thought he was like, he's special when it comes to just catching the ball, running routes, beating his man, like his releases, like those things are all elite. I just think that in today's NFL, I think a receiver has to be, or let's not say in Vegas, but in the Cowboy offense, like, you want your number one guy. He doesn't have to be dead as far as being boisterous and outspoken, demonstrative, but he at least should want the ball when the situation calls for it. And I didn't see in Amari Cooper that when we needed a play, he'd go to Dak and say, look, forget the play call, come to me. Like Irving, like those sort of situations where you want your dog to be that dog. Like CD, I think CD would be like, look, Dak, come here, man. I got you. Don't worry about it. And I could be wrong, but I didn't see it in him.
You are. And I'm trying to do this in respect.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Respectfully.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Respectfully.
Nah, tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
Respectfully. This is why. We talk about this play all the damn time. He literally came to Dak Prescott against the Eagles and said, stop running this damn play. He's sitting on this route. Told him to change the play and score like a 75-yard touchdown. That's the one we know because they came out and said that to the media. We don't know how many other times they did that. Number one. Number two, with Cooper Rush as the quarterback, they went into the huddle and they called whatever it was, yada, 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 yada. CD Lamb said, hey, Coop, let me get that. Let me get that. Amari Cooper said, nah, young blood, I want this. Game-winning touchdown. See, we don't talk about that because it's easy to talk about his body language. We don't talk about how he did come out and say to the public, because apparently whatever he was saying behind the scenes wasn't working. Hey, I would love to be involved more in the red zone. I would love to be involved more on third downs. I would love for us to beat cover 2 beaters. I would love for me to get involved early on. But the problem is he's not as hyperactive about it. He's not as demonstrative. So we look at it as, man, Coop don't care. It's the furthest thing from the truth, man. It's the first thing. So I always find it fascinating when I hear fans say that about him, because I'm like, well, what about when he actually did these things? So it comes back to
I think
we need to win.
Yeah, I think he did speak up, but I wanted to see that early, not after, like, this was in year 3 he's doing that. I think it should have happened immediately. Maybe he did and they just didn't talk about it as much.
the Philadelphia thing happened in, I think when he first got here. I either want to say 2018 or 19. It was one of those two seasons. But
yeah, it was the second season.
Okay, so see, he did it after being with the Cowboys for 8 games, or half a year.
I guess. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm falling victim to that as well. Like that, not unrealistic expectations,
frustration.
But like
it's the frustration.
Yeah, because
I get it.
Yeah, and then like the expectations of everyone else as opposed to what the Cowboys expect from themselves. Like I think we looked at every roster they had since like 2014, like, oh, this is a Super Bowl team, even when it wasn't a Super Bowl team. So I think as fans, we've been sucked into the media trying to sell, trying to get viewership by posting the Cowboys all the time, or
we're the most analyzed team in sports.
For sure, pick apart.
We just, like I said, the reason why I decided to do this is because I wanted us to be smarter than the networks. The networks will not dive into the things that I think are really important for the Cowboys. So that's why we have these conversations, brother. But hey, Mark, I appreciate you calling in, man. Would love for you to do it some more.
Absolutely, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're gonna keep it going. Overtime, man. Why not? We've been doing it all week. Let's roll. We got some heavy hitters, man. Bro G, D Shift, and Twan. Stay put. I got y'all. Bro G, what's up?
What is up, fam?
What's good?
I know I ain't calling in a minute. But unfortunately today the reason why I'm calling in because I came down with the COVID, man. So I'm doing cool with it's still alive and well here in Cali in the Bay Area. So we getting hit kind of hard now by COVID. So my Cowboys fam out there, America's fans. You're not America. We not Cowboys Nation. We America's fans. Just remember that, everyone out there. You be safe. You got to be safe out there. But I'm getting better now, and I've been listening in. I like the call that just came in.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this guy, but my first call in, me and you was talking about this, about who the Cowboys should keep.
COVID?
Amari.
Oh, okay.
No, we were talking about Amari and Michael Gallup. Which receiver should we keep? Of course, I think Amari is the best receiver of all the groups. I'm sad that he went. The only reason why I think they let him go because we just paid him too much, man. That's it. Because I was looking at in the future, like, man, we got to pay all these other players behind him. At the time we didn't have Michael. We didn't know what Michael was going to be. We had Diggs, we had Lamb, Randy Gregory. Those players I was looking at in the future. So they're gonna have to let one of these big name players go in order to make room for the future. So I think that's one reason why. One of the main reasons why Martin got let go. Maybe it could be a little bit, I heard about his work ethic during the week wasn't that good. They didn't like it or something. He wasn't too demonstrative about getting the ball and this and that. I thought he was the best receiver of all of them to me. Yes. So I'm glad. I mean,
bro, I thought
I'm sorry to see him go.
I thought after when did he get that contract? 2020 season. I thought after the 2020 season, and I own up to this. The question was posed on Twitter going into last year. Hey, man, I think Amari Cooper might get cut. Look at the contract, yada, yada. I looked at, why would you do it? Amari Cooper had a fantastic 2020 season with 4 different quarterbacks. I mean, really damn good year. Pro Bowler, all that good stuff, man. He's improving in the system. He's a veteran. They love him in there. No, I didn't think he'd get cut. Midway through the season, no, I don't think he'd get cut. It wasn't until he came out on that radio station and expressed his frustrations in back-to-back weeks. I was like, uh-oh.
As soon as he got demonstrative, yes, then things start to happen. I didn't know that he didn't have 1,000 yards last. I thought he got over 1,000. To me, I thought last year was his best year because he was pretty much almost in every game except for again I think he got COVID and he had to sit out.
There was the other part. There's the other part, bro. G. It wasn't even rumors. Listen to Jerry Jones. He was frustrated that Amari wasn't vaccinated, right? Just a couple things were adding on top. Then you had the contract. Steven. Here comes the money. Listen. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money. Steven said, "I could save what?
Nice.
I could save how much?" So I think all those things combined, they decided to move on. I don't know if I'm with you. I can't remember how you answered this question. I would have brought back Amari and let Gallup do his thing, but they went elsewhere. So
yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to call and say hello, man. It's been a long time. It ain't like I know. I mean, I wasn't really butthurt when we lost the 49ers, but it wasn't because my work, my schedule, I start at the same time that your show comes on, so I wasn't able to call in.
It's all good, man.
Now that I'm home for a minute, I thought I'd call in and say hello to everyone, say hello to you, say hello to America's fans.
Appreciate you, dog.
So,
You get better,
everyone. Man, one love, and I ain't making no predictions about what we're gonna do. I just want a competitive season, and when we get to the postseason, and once we get to the NFC Championship, then I'm gonna get my hopes up. But till then, I ain't drinking no Jerry juice.
Enjoy the ride, man. Drink that Pedialyte or whatever it is that make you feel better, bro. That's what you need to drink.
All right, right on, Sky.
All right, brother.
All right, wait.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fish is wrong, Trey. The contract was designed to basically be able to get out of it, after 2 years. My thing was, though, coming away from that 2020 season, I looked at it as, shit, why would you want to? You know what I mean? I looked at it as like, damn, okay, he's shown me that I would love to keep him around. But there was a bunch of different things that came to it, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Man, before I get to the rest of these calls, which I am going to lock up, I ain't even tell y'all about the ride of the week today because we just been beasting through the show. Marathon of sorts. But this week's ride of the week is the 2022 Hyundai Venue. The 2022 Venue ranks in the top third of the subcompact SUV class thanks to its roomy seating space, great fuel economy, spry driving dynamics, and affordable pricing, plus many standard tech and safety features. But don't confuse its bargain pricing for a lack of desirable features or a cut rate interior. On the contrary, every Venue has a host of standard driving assistance and a robust infotainment system. So check out this week's ride of the week at freemanhyundai.com or visit Freeman Hyundai in Irving, Texas.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
in front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and reach for the sky. Here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
I'm here to rescue you. I'm here to save you from the nonsense. Yeah? We got a super chat from my guy. I was going to get you, Twan, but you must have had to go back to work.
Super chat.
Twan said, Cooper has never gave up on a play just because he doesn't have the personality like others, but the networks turn fans against the players and fall for the talking points to think things that are not true. Yeah, it happens. I think what happens in Cowboys, man, after a few years, especially after some money, after more failures, we I don't use the word turn, but we sour a bit on our best players. Need a win. D Schiff, what's goody, man?
Hey, what's up, Sky?
Man, listen.
In the middle of the show, man.
We rolling through this damn marathon.
Hashtagging Angry Sky, man. So like, just ain't talking about the old line.
So see, I didn't think I got there. I might have got there with Coach, but I didn't think I went there.
You know that's the new hashtag, bro. Just make it go viral.
Yeah.
Make it go viral, man. Man, I'm just kind of intrigued with the wide receiver conversation, man. So I'm just going through Pro Football Reference, Sky, the stats.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm actually on here my dang on self because Derek brought a question up.
I'm going through the years, man, just really looking at, okay, so total receptions, right? Like, I think obviously with Romo, you had Witten get those 110 receptions. And Dez stayed around like 90-something receptions, right? So my thing is as Dak's been the quarterback, you know, guys are getting 70, 80-something tops, right? But I think a guy like CD is so different for him because of what CD can do once he has the ball in his hands, right? Even with Jason Witten getting those 110 receptions, he didn't even break 1,100 yards because he couldn't do anything after he just fall down, or crash into something. But the thing about CD, and I was going over a stat with you about his yak, and so I had to go double check, go look at yak and compare him and Amari's. That's one thing I can say about CD, that once he has the ball in his hands, he does a lot more with it, I think, than Amari could, and then potentially also going forward.
That's his game. That's his game.
That's his game. He's also young, young a little bit, and I think that's going to affect Amari going forward. We don't know how the injuries are going to start settling into him. So I think I can agree with you that we got rid of him prematurely. I wouldn't mind just to ride the contract out, especially with how these averages have been going. If that's what if that's what you're tripping on Amari about. But
his contract I think is at the bottom of the top 10 and probably about to fall out.
Yeah, and then he's as a receiver, he's still that's where his potential's at, right? Around the top 10 area, So he's giving you equitable services. But I just feel, the past years when we had Dez Bryant getting 90, like you bring up, we had Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley. He's just CD and Coop is just something had to give, right? And then you have Boy Wonder, who's trying to make his name. He's trying to make his mark. So he doesn't want to, target superstars and make it seem like, the only reason his offense or his system is breaking out because the superstars are carrying him. He wants it to be like, man, I'm spreading the ball, man. You see what I got, Cedric Wilson doing, and let's all of a sudden call this random play to Noah Brown, So, I mean, it's just too many ties for Kellen. As far as him, just, I don't know, that pride and ego thing. I was listening to the pivot. They had Jamarcus Russell, and he was speaking on coaches and how these coaches' egos can be, Yeah. And when they have their guys, as opposed to, I don't care, Jamarcus Russell coming in number one, but you still had, I think he was talking about Tom Cable coming from Tampa Bay, and I think at that point it was like Gradkowski, and so you have your guys. You sometimes want your guys to make it over some of these other guys, and everybody's personality doesn't rub for these front office type of dudes. Like you got young like athletes coming in who have certain type of personalities, and these guys, I don't know, want to take them down a notch. That's what I see with CD. He's not really a flashy kind of player, but he has just so much just swag about him, and then the whole how he came in with the Dallas Cowboys, the draft, and people just looking to take him down a notch, So man, that's all I really got for the show, man. Just want to kind of, if you think about just receptions, and CD just needs more target, period. And we've been talking about that. We've been hammering it. Yeah. Hopefully it can reach Kellen Moore's front desk or whoever. But man, good talking to you, Scott.
Shouldn't be difficult. Best players get the ball, man. Appreciate you, D. Chef. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes, sir.
So, as I was looking in the chat there, a couple people disagreed with Twan. It said he gave up in the Jets and Eagles game. Let me just kind of remind you guys what happened in the Jets game. Eagles game, 2-15. If you want to call back, actually it's locked. So we're done on phones. Eagles game. If you want to talk about, I don't have an explanation. I do not understand what happened there. There's two different sides to that story. I don't know. Give it to you. Whatever. I think y'all forgetting about the Jets. I think y'all are having, you're misremembering. Shout out to Roger Clemens. You're misremembering. The week prior to that game, Amari Cooper strained his quad in the middle of the Packers game. The Packers game, that the only reason why the Cowboys had a shot in that weird comeback attempt was because Amari went for 200-something yards on a strained quad muscle. He didn't come out. Could have came out, rested it up, tried to get right. He didn't come out. Stayed in and ate Jair Alexander. I digress. The next week, he tries to play through it and re-aggravated the quad against the Jets. and didn't go. Somebody said he took his helmet off and just stood there. Amari Cooper he don't take himself out games and just sits there for all of games because he's frustrated or something like that. He just came off a 200-yard performance. 200. And he had to take himself out because he was injured. So we have to remember the Jets game. If y'all are really using that, then you're misremembering. And I just want to help you. Remember. If you still believe that, then I can't help you if you're not going to help yourself. That's why he came out the Jets game. His quad literally would not allow him to play through it. If you want to say he's injury prone, if you don't like him because he's an injured guy, that's fine. He plays through it. So there's that. I think it was Fresh. Salute to you, Fresh King 36. You were the one who brought up the Jets game. Yeah, hey, Boogie, we still rolling, man. We in overtime. We might mess around, hit 11 o'clock. But it's kind of perplexing to me because it doesn't make sense. Mad Amari Cooper, you take him out. Why would he be so mad? He just torched the Packers for 200-plus yards. He couldn't go. Well, Sky misses a lot of games. No, he doesn't. He literally does not miss games with the Cowboys aside from COVID. He plays through it. And when he's targeted, he's still productive. Derek, I think it was Fisher. Fresh, you can be at the game live, Fresh. How are you going to tell that man that he needs to go play through that quad? Fresh. No matter if you was live at the game. Anyway. Derek said, Sky, do you think CD Lamb could have a 200-yard performance? Sure. Got to target him. So I want to look at Amari Cooper's 200-yard games. 19 targets. Should I count close to 200-yard games too? Or just 200-yard games? 13 targets. 14 targets. 19, 13, 14. CD Lamb has one game, in his career where he's targeted more than 13 times. One game. That was week 1 of the Tampa game. 7 for 104. The game CD Lamb came closest to getting 200 yards was against the New England Patriots. He was targeted 11 times, 9 receptions, 149. In his short career, CD Lamb has played what, y'all? 32 games? He's been targeted double-digit times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6. I don't even want to look at the other guys y'all are holding him up there with, right? Like y'all want him to be Justin. I'm pretty sure Justin Jefferson had 6 times in 6 games he was targeted double digits. So when you target CD Lamb more, he produces as well. It's quite frankly that simple when you have good players, in my opinion. Fresh, what can he get? What can he do with his quad if he knows he can't go? There's nothing he can do. My quad is shot. Y'all rubbing it and doing all this stuff. It's shot. I can't do it today. I tried. I went out there and tried for my team. I can't do it. I played through it last week to try to make this comeback. I can't do it. And you're really going to die on this hill for the Jets game. All right. I'll give you the Eagles. But you're going to die on this hill for the Jets game, to me, is perplexing. Lamar got shanked with a butter knife. Appreciate you for the $5 donation.
Super chat.
Context apparently don't matter. What was said about Coop in Oakland, Sky? Isn't it similar to now? You tell me. What was said about Amari Cooper that's similar to now? You tell me. Because in Oakland, Amari Cooper was a 2-time Pro Bowler, if I'm not mistaken. He actually had worse drops in Oakland, for being honest. 2-time Pro Bowler in Oakland. 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. 1,000 yards. 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. For a terrible Oakland team, by the way. 7 touchdowns his third season, and then was traded in his third season. Traded in his fourth season. You know. I don't know, man. Maybe Mark Cooper ain't shit. Maybe I don't know. Maybe CeeDee Lamb ain't shit. I don't know. I just feel like we need to win, man. We need to win. What y'all laughing at here? King said the funniest is when he get mad at Vach. He be wanting to jump out the screen. The Coop conversation was crazy. The only reason why I got on Vach for that one because Vach was pro Amari Cooper, but he admit it. He the ops now, so it's Amari Cooper. I get it. Jay said, I believe he missed one game. Hey. Just here to provide context. We is rolling, but I think we're done. No more phone calls here, man. I think we had some productive conversations, some good back and forth. Things to think about here, you know. Things to think about. King Element, back in my day. I promise you I'm not get off of my lawn guy. Derek said I'm working the whole 8 hours. Fresh said CD a beast. I think so too. Yeah. I'm going to stick with this. I think we're doubting our bright stars on this team. Sans Michael. I shouldn't say they. Somebody in the comment got on me the other day. Man, don't be putting all of us in. You're right. You're right. I ain't saying everybody. But there's a good sector, you know, that our bright stars on this team aren't in fact bright stars. Trey says, Scott, before you get too big, I gotta buy you some drinks. Because why I get life. You funny. Appreciate you, Trey. Listen, I'm all for it. I told y'all, man. Let me show y'all. Some of y'all that just came through still rocking with me. Preparing for camp, man. If y'all see me down there in camp, I got the Ben DiNucci sidearm special. We're gonna rock down there. I got the bucket. Paid $200 for. I got the bucket. You know what I'm saying? We're getting ready for camp down there. If y'all see me out there, I don't even know where the hell I'm going down there. You know, I'm gonna have to lean on Vach, but I'm pretty sure there's some places to get some drinks and some food. If y'all see me, man, holla at me. I ran into people all the time down here, and I run into people at Texas Live and all that stuff. Very approachable. Very approachable. All right, man. Good stuff today. I could do this. Man, I could talk boys with y'all all day. Y'all, there's nothing like talking boys with the Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad! Nothing like it. I mean, our community's deep as hell. But I feel like the Bomb Squad, what we got going here, and how we can have this, it's hard. It's really hard, believe it or not, to have the conversations through the chat. But the way y'all do it, and how I try to do it, the phones are always popping too. That is what it is. But the chat really is important, man, and y'all keep it going, man. So do me a favor, whether you're new here or not, even if you're new here, you can't tell me you wasn't feeling this goddamn show today. Come on, man. You can't tell me you wasn't feeling it. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I ain't even going to ask you to subscribe. That's up to you. I've never been the type to be begging for, because you know why? I'm not going to subscribe to something I ain't feeling. That's why I always say, if you're feeling the show and you want to, get the notifications and all that stuff, then yeah, subscribe. If you ain't feeling it yet, I'm not going to ask. I'm bugging you to subscribe. Only subscribe to things that you like. Period. Whether it be on social medias, whatever, because people get upset at their timelines and things. Well, then Clear your timeline out. People get mad at their surroundings. Well, then change your surroundings. Subscribe to what you like and to what's going to make you a better person, a better fan, a better father, a better sister, mother, brother, whatever. So that's the only thing I ask you to subscribe to. Things that's going to make you better and that you enjoy. No prime time tonight. No volume show with me and Vach today. We'll be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. I'm definitely going to enjoy the weekend with the fam. I hope y'all do as well. Asmodeus says, Coach Marvel's a trip. Hey, no. Listen, all the calls today were amazing, man. I was surprised me and Coach back-to-back conversations here disagree. At the end of the day, I still disagree, but I was definitely wrong on what he was saying. I thought he was trying to say 2022 was going to be historic. He said 2021 was historic. I disagree. But I got really in my bag like, oh, all time? Nah. So shout out to Coach Marv, man. He got me going today. That was fun. All the other calls were amazing as well. Can't do this thing without y'all. Good stuff. Make sure y'all run it back. All right. With that said, man, I'm going to press a button for the one last time. Sushi Night says, my lady, yes, indeed. Hope y'all have a good weekend. I damn sure am. Y'all deserve it. We deserve it. All right. Be safe. Come on back. Only if you're brave enough. Only if you're brave enough. I need to drink some water. For long one. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace.
Bomb Squad!